Hey everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I'm playing in the Tier 8 Soviet Premium Medium Tank. It is the STG and this is the skinned variant of it, aka the Guard, but it's not going to be the focus of the video today. The focus of the video is that I am going to become unexpected friends with one of the players on my team. Which player it's going to be, we're just going to have to wait and see. Now, on the Guard, in this kind of a matchup on Lakeville, I want to try and take it to the middle of the map and try and use that 390 alpha damage and really good accuracy at 0.33 to maybe just try and catch something ill-prepared at the start of the game. Now, the view range on this vehicle is not too bad at 370 meters, and so with coated optics and an exceptionally skilled crew like I have on this tank, that means that I should be able to spot people in the middle of the map, but oh. Even though my sixth sense hasn't gone off, I'm not spotted. Looks like that T-30 behind me is, and the enemy T-30 puts a big old shell into my tank. 849 at the start of this battle. If you get hit by that Tier 9 turreted American tank destroyer, you're going to feel it irrelevant of what tank you're in. And when you're in a tank that's lower tier than it, it's just all the more brutal. I just lost 2/3 of my hit points, over 2/3 of my hit points at the start of this battle. And now I've got to make the next 13 minutes and 45 seconds of this game absolutely wounded. And when you're wounded in a vehicle like this, it just means that you've got to be a little less cheeky. Now I get one shot by the T-30, maybe the artillery will remove all of my hit points. Even the lower tier tanks on the enemy team are going to kill me in 2 shots. And something like a 5100 with an autoloader, I'm just so much less of a threat to him. Now I think about maybe making my way down the west, and what is this T-30 doing? The T-30 just randomly fired in towards the spawn. Maybe he's angry at the fact that this Oho seems to be AFK in the base, or maybe he just doesn't like walls as he seems to have shot his way through them. Okay, you know what? I'm not too bothered about the fact that I got hit for 849 considering the T-30 was spotted behind me. I guess it was my fault for being at the front trying to either spot for them or just trying to get sneaky shots in for myself. It was a bit weird him shooting back into the cap circle. We'll have to watch out for him later on, right? So I've decided to cut my losses along the centre of the map and the western flank and to make my way in towards the town. Now I don't think going in towards the town is suitable for a lightly armoured medium tank like this at the start of the battle in this kind of a matchup. Sure, if I was top tier against lots of tier 6 tanks, I would probably make my way over there because I can two-shot half of the enemy team, right? But in this kind of a matchup, your 390 alpha damage isn't so intimidating, and it comes down to the damage per minute of this vehicle, which is a lowly 1,671 base. That just means that the Guard feels a little lackluster, really. This tank is all about the ambush, it's all about the alpha damage, and we come round, put one into the Oni, but it looks like he manages to hit the corner of our vehicle there, or even just go through the side armor or the lower plate. I can't exactly see where he entered the vehicle there. Well, it's irrelevant, really. Now I'm down to a one shot for every single tank on the enemy team, taking that 286 damage there from the Tier 7 Japanese heavy tank. Alright, what a disaster of a game so far in the first 3 minutes of this battle. I've basically been driving around and either playing badly, making bad decisions, or shall we say just getting a little bit unlucky. But what do we need to do right now? Well, obviously the enemies are pushing through the town, and so I see that we've still got our tank destroyers in the centre of the map. We've got an artillery piece and a medium tank just chilling at the back there. I want to lull them through this position here currently to maybe try and get them into the line of fire of the T-30. And I'm going to use the okay mobility of this vehicle to try and flank around and try and provide an extra line of fire on my opponents. And there you go, the IKV manages to get himself into a silly location, and a roll of 425 there means that, wow, we can actually two-shot a Tier 7 Swedish tank destroyer. That's pretty brutal for this vehicle. He just takes a big hit, which means that he's definitely going to die if I manage to get a shot into him. But I also don't want to die right now. I want to try and use that T-54 Mod 1 to engage the opponents. And oh, that was the worst shot. Oh, what a disaster of a game so far. Well, we'll have to see if I'm going to be able to make up for it in a couple of minutes. But the T-54 Mod 1 decides that he's had enough of that Swedish tank destroyer and goes absolutely crazy after him. Looks like that Oni is expecting me to come round the corner though, as even though I could probably get a shot into the side of the M103 turret, the Oni just playing the supporting role in the low tier tank destroyer there is stopping me from going and putting a big old alpha hit into the Tier 9 heavy tank. Great play by the Onis there. You can see why they're experienced players, stopping me from performing my role. And at the time, that was immensely frustrating. But you just got to keep calm. If people are going to play well against you, you've just got to accept it and maybe see what else you can do. And it's about maybe thinking that the M103 is going to go towards the east, or maybe the Oni is, and I'm expecting him to trundle towards me, and I want to get one shot into him and then pull back just like that. And while that tier 7 Japanese heavy tank has got a lot of hit points, when you start doing on average 390 alpha damage into them, they're not going to last too long. And the slow, cumbersome Oni there doesn't quite have the guts or the mobility to be able to get forwards. And we come round the corner there, he misses us. We put one into his turret, and now he's down to 179, which makes him a one-shot. This is really neck and neck stuff. Oh, okay, there's that T-30 that we had to deal with earlier, and he's telling me to fall back. Well, you know what? That's a pretty good idea, because he's got all the hit points, he's got all the turret armor. Why not let the T-30 do the work? No point in me going around the corner unless the M103 donks one of his shots, and then maybe I can come round. I'm just going to track the M103 there, and we see he instantly uses his repair kit. That's definitely something that you should try and remember. Fair enough, repair kits are reusable now, and they've got a 90-second cooldown, but at least we know now that if we manage to track that M103 again, or if he's charging towards us and we get an opportunity, or should we say a decision to either track him or try and go for the damage, tracking might keep us alive if we can run away. Okay, so it's now me and this T-30 versus 6 enemy tanks, and quite a lot of them are very healthy here. This FV4202 is going to require 2 shots, but luckily it looks like my view range and camo is far superior to that the 4202. And so we put one into him there, we wait for the clean shot into the back of the tank, setting him on fire, and finally we finish him off. But now that we've secured that flank, I guess apart from the AMX 5100, I need to go and help this M103. He presses his F7 key. I'm communicating to him by pressing my F8 key, which tells you how long you have left to reload. And we come round and we stop the IS-3 from flanking the T-30. Because while the T-30 has fantastic alpha damage and really good turret armor, its hull armor is weak and its reload is very long. Its DPM is very bad, a lot like this tank when we think about it. And so by stopping the IS-3 from flanking the T-30, we definitely keep him alive and in the game. Now we're going to try and put one into the side of the M103 turret, but unfortunately the shell dips. I cannot believe that one missed. Looks like this tier 9 American heavy tank is somebody's trying to protect him right now. But there you go, we did what we needed to do. We kept the T-30 in the game, and he shuts down the M103, his tier 9 American adversary, a lot like he is. Okay, so good stuff. You see how we're constantly communicating in the chat. This is something you have to take into account. We come around the corner. I'm pretty sure I'm the one who spotted the 5100 there, but just momentarily. He didn't see me, however, thanks to my camera rating and my crew skills. And so what I'm going to do is try and set up shop to get one big ambush shot into the 5100. And I think it is the right play to try and set up the ambush shot. Sure, maybe I bounce, maybe I miss, maybe he gets super lucky and hits one into me if I react slowly and don't pull away quickly. But when he's on 406 hit points, that means that he's just better than a 50-50 whether he's going to stay in this game. Unfortunately, well, for him, he doesn't get lucky, and we shut him down with a slightly higher than average roll. Okay, so now you'll see that I'm trying to communicate with the T-30 and tell him what my plans are. So I pinged the map. I pinged J4 and G4, saying that I'm going to go down the center of the map. He says negative, but I say, please play safe. And he says, help. I say negative, please play safe again. And then the E50 is saying, guard. Now I tell the T-30, please let me scout. Because we've got, 3 minutes left before the T-28 prototype caps this one out. Why rush it? Why go round a corner into a tier 8 American turreted tank destroyer when we're both one shot for him, guaranteed one shots for the enemy tank, unless of course he bounces, but that kind of defeats the point. If you're a one shot, right, you're a one shot if he penetrates. Anyway, sorry, I digress. But why rush it? Why go round the corner? Why be aggressive? Why not try and use the advantages that you have, which is probably to try and use the mobility and to stop him, or what shall I say, approach him from multiple angles. So by making my way through the middle of the map, and by also the communication that the T-30 had with me, that I know that he's not an idiot and he's actually going to wait for me to make the flanking play, and hats off to him for doing this. It's a pleasure to play with you at the end of this game. I had an opportunity to maybe spot the T-28 if he was in this location from here. And I was thinking, well, if I light him up, then I'm going to just get a clean shot into his back. So what I decide to do now is instead, okay, we haven't managed to spot him from the middle. We've still got 2 minutes left on the game. Now let's close the distance and create a pincer attack for with the T-30, right, against this T-28 prototype. You'll also notice that I'm pinging the map telling the T-30 what I'm doing. That's something that's very good to do to reassure your allies, and just all the communication that you can do without slowing yourself down. You don't want to stop in the middle of the game and write an essay, But by just pinging the map, or alternatively using your F keys or holding down your Z key and using the quick context communications wheel, I guess, it's an interesting way of calling it, then you can just work together with your allies efficiently. And when you do things like that, then you instead will get the jump on your enemies who were trying to ambush you round the corner. So I put 1 into the T-28, but the rate of fire of this vehicle is abysmal. And it's a good thing we played safely here as well, because that T-28 prototype was on full health, and I lull him, I bait him round the corner, just tempting him with the back of my tank, lulling him into a false sense of security. He tunnel visions, and that T-30 sneaks up behind him and shows him what one day he will be able to do. And so there you have it. I made unexpected friends with this T-30 at the end of the game, and good communication enabled us to come out of this one with the victory. What's his name? A massive shout out to you, Neo911. It's a pleasure to play with you. And I absolutely loved this game from the fact that it kind of got me shot a little bit earlier on, but it was also kind of my fault for driving up on that ridge line, and then that random shell back into the base. I was thinking, oh god, what's going to happen here? But just like, you know, keeping calm, ignoring the irrelevant stuff, and still be willing to work with people who maybe through fault of their own or through not fault of their own have kind of screwed you over a little bit earlier. You can come together and pick up some victories. So while this round doesn't really net us any hero medals or an incredible result statistically, we still managed to take down 1,146 base experience points and 3,471 damage, and oh, no assistance gets us a cool 91,000 credits profit, although I hasten to add this was with a personal reserve. And so after resupplying ammunition and that horrible consumable, Wargaming please, we need another consumable sale soon. We would have made 40k anyway. And so there you have it. You saw the good and the bad of the Guard. For some reason, even though this tank doesn't have damage per minute, and you know I'm crazy about my DPM, this is one of my most successful tier 8 premium tanks right now. And I guess I got to attribute that to the fairly okay penetration, the fantastic alpha damage, and decent accuracy, which is unusual for a large caliber tank. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, but if you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments if you have any memorable moments of where you have become unexpected friends with your allies and got through a situation and had that fantastic sense and feeling of camaraderie at the end of the game. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.